Hi, welcome back to Curry to Go. Since we started doing these videos, we've had quite a lot of requests for vegetarian dishes, and that's quite close to my heart because I was a vegetarian for a number of years, and the thing that really got me into Indian cooking 20 years ago was vegetarian Indian cuisine. So I'm going to do a series of videos to show you some really tasty vegetarian dishes that even if you're not a vegetarian you might want to cook because they are absolutely delicious. The first one that we're going to do today is a well-known one that's on most takeaways menus, and it's very simple to cook, very easy, it doesn't require a lot of preparation or many ingredients, and that's Tarka Dhal. Now, dal is just a word that's used, it's a generic term in vegetarian Indian cuisine that just refers to lentil-based pulse-based dishes. So you've got Tarka Dhal, you've got mung dal, chana dal, and there's various different dals. But the Tarka Dhal consists of the dal, which is made from red lentils, and the tarka, which is the seasoning that goes in there that makes it taste great. You will like this dish. So what we've got here, just have a look at some of these ingredients. We've got some red lentils. These are just standard red lentils that you can buy at any Asian supermarket. Or even you can get these now at most supermarkets, to be honest with you. All the big supermarkets carry these lentils. So they're just basic red lentils. Some recipes actually require that you can mix them with other lentils. That's great, you can do that as well. As long as your lentils are pretty much the same consistency, you can do that. So here we have 1 cup of red lentils. These are not cooked. Now this will do about 4 portions. So we're going to cook the lentils, which will do 4 portions, but we'll actually just make 2. You can store it, it'll keep for a few days in the fridge, or you can even freeze it. So what we do first of all is we take our dried red lentils and we just go over to our pan, put them in a pan, and then we just add 1.5 quantities of water to lentil. So basically 1.5 cups, if you're using cups, of water to lentils, and then you basically put that on a very low light. No salt or anything at this stage, just your lentils and the water on a very low light, or once you've got it boiling, that is. So get it on a medium heat, sorry, get it boiling. Once it comes to boil, keep your eye on it because it's very important this, then you take it down to a very, very low light and put your lid on there. I know this lid doesn't match the pot, but there you go. So you put your lid on your pot and you leave that to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't take long to cook, but you must keep your eye on it because they will burn. They're going to absorb all the liquid, so just keep your eye on that. So again, bring it to the boil and then simmer for about 15 minutes. So we'll come back to that and you can see what it looks like once that's been simmering for about 15 minutes. We're back after about 15 minutes of simmering our red lentils very gently, and they've absorbed all our liquid, and now they look like this. Now these have cooled down a little bit. You can use them straight away, you can stick that in the fridge and use it later, but that's what it's going to look like. So you can see they start off red and they end up looking yellow, and that's the colour of Tarka Dhal. So what we do now is we get our pan on the stove. As I said, we're going to make 2 portions here, but if you want to make more, just multiply the quantities. So get your pan warm, and this is the rule. You want heaped chef spoons, you want 2 per person. So if we're making 2 portions, we want 4 heaped chef spoons of our cooked lentil. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's in our pot, and now we add some water. Now basically you want to cover your lentils, I'd say about a cup full, maybe just a little bit more, of water to cover your lentils, and then put your heat on quite high and bring that to the boil. Now at this stage we add in a handful of coriander, about that much. Sprinkle that in, freshly chopped coriander. Just give that a stir. and just let that come to the boil. We also add 1 piece of parboiled potato. This adds a lovely creamy texture, believe it or not, to your dal. So you can just break that piece of potato up. As it starts to cook, it'll soften, and you can break it up into bits, and it will eventually go to nothing. We don't want to worry about that. Just break that up into little pieces and just bring that to the boil. Now while that's cooking, we'll show you how you make your tarka. The tarka is your seasoning which will flavour your dal. So here we have a little pan on here. Let's just get that nice and hot. Put that on a high flame. Get your pan warm. We want to add in about a chef's spoon of our seasoned oil into the pan. We need to wait for that oil to get quite hot. Now once the oil gets fairly hot, we add in a teaspoonful of cumin seeds. So, a teaspoonful of cumin seeds into our oil. You can tell the oil's hot enough because your cumin seeds just start to sizzle like that. Now while that's sizzling, if you come over here, we take about half an onion, like that, and you want to chop it really finely. And then you want to take that onion and just put that in with your cumin seeds and oil. And then take the heat down a little bit and just cook that until the onions have softened. We'll come back once they've softened. Okay, so they've been cooking for about a minute and a half. You want to add in a knob of butter like that. You can use ghee or butter. If you're going to use butter, make sure you have used oil as well, otherwise it will burn in the pan. So we've got our oil there, so you can use a knob of butter just like that and put that in the pan. And allow that butter to just melt. So we'll come back to that once the butter's melted. Okay, our butter is melted now in our pan. Now at this stage, our oil's nice and hot, the butter's melted. We take 5 finely chopped cloves of garlic and just add them into the pan. You want to turn this on a fairly high heat. Cook your garlic, but you just got to keep your eye on that and make sure you don't burn it. You don't want your garlic burning, you just want to get it just to the brown stage where it's just starting to turn a little bit brown. So we'll leave that on there. Now if we look back at our dal, you can see it's cooking nicely. Our potato is dissolving into the lentils and it's absorbing some more of the liquid. You can just use the back of this spoon just to crush your potato in there like that. Now what we do is we add in about 3 or 4 pieces of fresh tomato. This adds a nice sweetness to your dal. We also want to add in about half a teaspoonful of salt, which might seem a lot, but salt really does add to the flavour of this dish. So you can put less in if you want, just gauge it by taste, but we put about half a teaspoonful of salt in there. Just give that a turn. Now if we come back over to our tarka, you can see that the garlic is just starting to turn brown, which is where we want it to be. We don't want to cook it any more than that. So all we do is simply take this pan here just empty the contents of this pan into this one. Just give that a good stir. And then basically we just want to simmer that now for about another 3 or 4 minutes until it's absorbed a little bit more of the liquid. So we'll come back to that. You can see. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes, and as you see, our dal has pretty much absorbed a lot of the liquid, and the potato is also broken down in that. So you just want to just check it for seasoning. Make sure that it's okay. This is such a tasty dish. That's just spot on. We'll turn our gas off. Serve that up. A little bit more in that one. This is going to be my tea tonight. A hard day here at the unit, and then what you want to just do, you just garnish it with a little bit of fresh coriander. This one's nice. And as you see, there's no other seasoning or spices go into that, and that is great. Really does taste nice. So follow us next time on another video, and we'll show you another vegetarian Indian dish that you might like to try. But thanks for following, and see you next time.